Alright, just spent a day riding two Cleveland CycleWerks Misfits, and first and foremost, what you gotta know is low entry price. Built in China, that's the way you get cheap price, and for the money, it's a great little entry level machine. However, built in China, it also has its own drawbacks, and build quality isn't what we're used to seeing from the Japanese or the Europeans. Some of the welds are kind of sloppy. Got things like this giant rear brake lever that looks a foot long. But riding these bikes in town, amazingly light. I don't know if I've experienced a lighter street bike. Super maneuverable, easy to ride. Got a really nice stance, and some of these, the cutouts on the tank and the side panels, kind of reminiscent of a mid-70s Ducati. Although the 250cc single doesn't quite have the grunt of any Ducati. It's enough to get around town ahead of traffic, but anybody experienced looking for more speed, they'll want to look elsewhere.
What we decided to do was take the Misfit model and kind of judge it against itself. The one in front of me here is the modified Misfit, and we've got the stock one that's kind of further down the road right now. The big difference between the two, you got the clubman bars on this Misfit. They removed the passenger grab handle back here to kind of clean up the rear end. They put a stainless steel exhaust system on it, and they also have a modified head and carburetor. We ran both of these on the dyno just the other day, and there's definitely a difference. The stock one made about 12 horsepower. This one made about 16. There's definitely a quicker pickup on the throttle and a much better top end on the modified Misfit.
Adding to some of the Misfits street cred are remote reservoir shock absorbers and an inverted fork up front. And these look kind of high spec, but in actuality they're just middle of the road, or maybe even somewhere slightly below that. The shocks have very minimal travel, and bumps really transmit a lot to the rider. Fork is a lot better at soaking up the bumps, but it too feels like it's got an excess of high-speed compression damage.
You know, overall, it's a good little bike. You know, it's about 230 cc's altogether. It only weighs about, I think, 260 pounds dry, so 300-pound bike altogether with, you know, gas and oil. So up here and again in the switchbacks, it's, you know, really flickable. It only has some Duro tires on it, so not the stickiest tires overall, so you gotta be a little bit careful with that. They'll probably get 1,000,000 miles, but you might want to switch out rubber if you're actually going to be, you know, aggressive on the machine, because it's fun, especially with these clubman bars. You know, it's got you kind of in that racer position, and you want to go fast with it, and the pipe makes a great sound. The brakes actually are pretty good. They've got steel braided lines front and rear. It's a single disc with a 2-piston caliper, both front and rear, and you know, they haul a lightweight machine like this down, you know, pretty good.
So to me, there's two buyers who would be most interested in this. One is the entry-level buyer just looking for a brand new bike that's easy, has an easy low price to get into. The other is maybe a little bit more experienced person who wants to use this as a platform to build upon. The modified bike we rode has a lot freer spinning motor, a lot more power, kind of fun to ride with that clubman bar stance and megaphone exhaust. It's kind of a cool machine in its own right. But if you're looking for build quality and the reliability of a Japanese motorcycle like we've been used to for 40 years, I'm not sure if this is going to be the ideal candidate for you.